Okay, welcome everybody to another episode of South African Coin Talk. I know we've had a bit of a break, but due to unforeseen circumstances, we had to take a little bit of a hiatus, and we're back. And with the help of many people this year, we've got a plan in place that we're going to do more recordings and let this channel start promoting South African numismatics and numismatics as a whole. And today we've got a chat. I've got a chat with somebody that I've wanting to do for a very long time. And I was going to say new kid on the block, but the man has been collecting for many years, if my memory serves me right. And that's none other than Thomas van der Spy, who's out in Mauritius at the moment, and we're doing this recording. Thomas, how are you?
Yeah, hey Anthony, I'm good, and yourself?
Good, all good. Uh, just for the viewers' sake, I think many people now know you in the numismatic industry, your involvement, etc. But there's a little bit of background about yourself. And I know you're now residing in Mauritius, but you've got multiple places around. So yeah, just go for it.
Mhm.
Tell us about you.
Okay, so yeah, well, what can I say? I was raised in South Africa, homeschooled, finished school early, studied some accounting after school, went into my own business, and moved to Mauritius. But I've been collecting coins as long as I can remember, since being a small child. Kind of specializing ZAR coins and whatever. Got some interesting notes, coins out, otherwise just some ZAR coins.
So how did this passion come about now for ZR coins? I mean, how did it spark that collecting interest?
So I've told the story before, but maybe I can just tell it again. I had to go back and see where it all started, but it all started at about 7 years old. I picked up a coin on the beach in Melkbos. I had to go back and confirm. So it was a 1935 halfpenny. Was pretty good nick. The local newspaper did an article on that, and then slightly later on, we used to play arcade games at a little Portuguese fish and chip shop, and the arcade games only used the old decimal coins. So we used to go and swap the coins out for smaller coins or older coins to go play on these arcade machines. So the owner of the store, Uncle D'Souza, held the coins there. We swapped it there, and we could go play the arcade games. And that's where I started trying to collect all the different faces, be it Van Riebeeck, Swart, and later on tried to get some of the coins from the bank. And then I stumbled upon Buy, where I could start buying more coins. And during that period, I also got a hold of you know the story, it's an interesting story, but an old cabinet at home. So
Yeah.
this cabinet had a lot of secret compartments. There was always a folder in there with a lot of old 1 rands, big 1 rands. And playing around with this cabinet, kind of taking it apart as a child, discovered some ZR coins in there. And that's kind of where the passion started. Very interesting because my father knew nothing about it. My grandfather definitely did not collect coins. But the cabinet has been in the family for forever. So somewhere someone placed some ZR coins in there, and that was the first ZR coins in the collection. And from there, it was just one way up.
Yeah, I'm reminded of a spreadsheet you mailed me once. This is many moons ago. And
Mm-hmm.
that spreadsheet had all your coins and your grades in it and the ones you were missing. And how far has that now evolved? How has that improved, and where have you gone to from that?
Yes. So it's gone a long way since then. I remember back in the day emailing you and being in contact. My first ever graded top-up coin came from you. It was an 1892 penny back in the day. I didn't have the money to pay for it, and I remember having this chat with you, and for some reason you just mailed off the coin to me, and I received the coin, and I was like, Anthony, how am I going to pay for this coin? And I still remember you said to me, just do it in installments. So that was the first graded top up. Since then, unfortunately, it's not a top up anymore. The coin's grade has been beaten. But today the ZR collection is about 80% top-ups.
Excellent, excellent. And is ZAR just your primary for now? Is that where your focus is?
Well, I think it's if I look back on the journey now, it's probably taken me, a better part of 20 plus years to get to where I am right now. And it's such a small series to collect. So if I have to take on a second series, I don't think I'll make it in my lifetime, to be quite honest. No, there's a lot of things that spark my interest in collecting, and I try and collect different kinds of coins. I've got some union, mainly on the proof sets. Anything that interests me, I'll go for. But when it gets to spending serious amounts of money on coins, I can't really see myself doing it outside of the ZAR series. Because at the end of the day, you have to find a balance between collecting and ending up being bankrupt. It's
Yeah.
an expensive hobby, especially when you get to the ZR top-ups. Most people won't have any idea what some of these coins can go for. It can get really ridiculous.
Okay, cool. You mentioned that where the spark ignited for
Mm.
ZAR coins in your early days, the cabinet. I mean, that must have been fun, and must be still is. I mean, I think I mailed a picture of another cabinet with these multiple compartments in it. But was there anything else that attracted you to ZAR itself? Or is it the period? Is it the history behind it and the shortness of the series?
Yeah, so it's quite a short series, and initially I thought, it's not going to be that difficult to complete it. But just completing it alone is quite a mission. And then because it's being my interest, I know anything and everything about the series, its history. It's also, for a long time, I considered it to be the first truly South African coin series. So this all combined to spark that interest. There's a lot of dealers over the years that's into union coins, some um, to the ZAR. Then I can't really remember where I read it the first time around, but it was Elie Levine when he sold his collection. He was about 5 or 6 coins away from completing the collection in MS. And I think it was in one of his books where he mentioned it's not possible. It's impossible to complete the series in MS. And that became kind of the next target for me, to complete the entire ZR series in MS. Luckily today, because of grading companies, we know mathematically that 4 people can complete a entire ZR series in MS. And that being the reason for the 93 shilling and the 93 half coins, with only 4 pieces each in MS currently. And that's been the challenge ever since. Luckily, I've completed it.
Yeah, I mean, ZAR is a challenging area, and I think people underestimate the rarity of some coins, even in the common years as well, when it comes to high grade and especially MS. So, in your collection, are all your coins graded, or do you have ungraded as well?
So I do have some ungraded. I have not sent yet for grading. The majority I've sent away for grading. I have an amazing 1892 proof set, which is ungraded in a really beautiful holder, which I think it's so beautiful. I'm going to keep it that way for a while. There's no reason to grade it at this stage, but I do feel that it's got the potential to produce 1 or 2 top-ups in the proof series. But otherwise, all the other coins, it's worthwhile. I've had them graded to try and build the collection in such a way.
So you've spoken about how your collection has evolved, and one of your passions is to get to all the coins in MS. 2 questions here. Number one, uh, so going forward, the passion and the goal, would that be top up?
Yes, top up at this stage. So there's some coins where I'm one or two grades away from top up, and it's just I'm not going to be paying foolish money just to go one small grade up when the next levels top up. A good example would be my 1898 Pont. It's only an MS64. There's an MS66 out there, actually two of them out there. So if someone comes along and offers me a 65, I'll go for it, but I'm not going to be just to go from 64 plus to 65, waiting for that top up 66 to come along. So unfortunately for the dealers out there, I've kind of taken over hitting when it comes to buying some of the coins.
Yeah, I think it goes with all of us when we started off in chasing. School fees are quite
Yes.
expensive in numismatics.
School fees, yes. And you never end up paying school fees for some reason. I still pay school fees.
Yeah,
But I must say, over many years of collecting, I've always had the best results in top quality numismatics. It's always been the lower grades that you kind of tend to, over the long run, not see really a big return on. But some of the higher grade items, there's been some really good returns on the coins.
so I know we covered this, in our chat last week, okay, but this is for
Yeah.
a greater audience. So I'm presuming there's a gap in your collection for that single nine, right? At some stage.
So the single nine, yeah, I've been asked that question many times. Well, first of all, I think the single nine is worth more than all the other coins in the entire ZR series, combined. So it's not obviously an easy coin to get. In my lifetime, it's pretty much only gone on the market, twice, or maybe three times, but once I wasn't even aware of it. It's a coin I would one day want to get into the collection if the opportunity comes along. There was probably an opportunity now, but I wasn't right for the opportunity yet. I need to hold on to more Bitcoin and hope it grows into the future before I can add that little beauty to the collection.
Are you a trophy hunter?
Um, on the single nine, I would say yes. Yeah, I would. Um, Sadly, I think after the Gatsby auction, the single nine's taken its place in world numismatics. And in the future, if that coin comes on the market again, there's going to be many more trophy hunters after the coin, um, which might make it more difficult. The growth on the coin hasn't been that great since the recorded sale of 2010 or unrecorded sale, but that sale was a lot of speculation in it. Now there's a confirmed public price on it. Um, and I expect that if the coin has to go away for another 10, 15 years, the growth will be slightly higher than it was in the last owner's hands.
Yeah, and again, we're just talking general, and uh, uh, I think that whole Gatsby sale has actually put not only ZAR but South African numismatics on the map again, uh, with a lot of people becoming interested now in South African coins. I don't know if you have the same view.
Yeah, I think definitely so. Especially some of the international buyers. There's definitely going to be some more international buyers having a look at South African coins and especially top coins. So it's going to be very interesting in the next two or three sales, big sales of South African coins to see how they perform on the international market. Um, and also to see how some of these coins are going to perform on the local market, because these coins are going to hit the local market, or quite a few of them, very soon. If I have to guess, I've already bought, as I explained in the previous video, I've already bought one of the Gatsby coins privately from a dealer. So I'm expecting many more to hit the market.
Right. And just quickly, we're just going to focus on ZAR for a brief moment. Have you encountered much fakes in the ZAR series? Have you been offered coins and you noticed that
No,
they're fakes?
yes, I'm not a big fan or collector of the fakes. I know some people like to collect them. There's some known fakes out there, which is kind of easy to spot. For some reason, a lot of the fakes, like the 93 2.5 shilling, 94 2.5 shilling. Those things are quite rare. There's actually quite a big premium on them. And even of late, I would say a few years ago, there was quite a lot of the 92 crowns out there from China, and they've also kind of disappeared. There's not that many fakes out there in the ZR series. Not at all. I don't know. Maybe you see something different because I'm not on the ground looking to buy fakes all the time.
I was never into fakes until uh, you get into your collecting and then suddenly you reach a brick wall and there's nothing coming in and you get edgy, you want this fix, etc. And
Mm,
suddenly you go buy things that you don't actually need. And I said, what is it that I can collect as a side? And I said, pulled out Eddie Levine's book and I said, let me try and see if I can get all the facts. It's absolutely impossible to find them regularly. I mean, I don't know how Elie
no.
Levine identified them, and Levine was fond of stamping the letter F on a coin
Mhm.
if he found it to be a fake, and that's how you knew it was a fake. But they found few in between, and like you said, some of them can be quite pricey.
Mm. Yeah, definitely. I actually wonder where all the Levine fakes must be floating around because it's quite obvious there's a F stamped on those coins. So I would presume they must still be somehow together in someone's collection. Because
Possibly
I
is,
haven't seen them individually come up on the market at all.
yeah, possibly is, definitely is. And with those dyes that surfaced in Europe recently, Uh, sometimes it does get a bit scary, but the well-known fake is obviously the Fanica at 1900 pont. That's easily
Yes.
identifiable, but such a beautiful coin. I mean, I wish it wasn't a restrike or a fake, you know. And I think,
Yeah, I can just imagine how that must have caught ZAR buyers back in the day.
uh,
If you're used to a 1900 point and someone gives you a Fanica, um, as a dealer, you must have fallen off your chair seeing that coin.
absolutely, absolutely. I
Mm,
mean, when I started off and I saw one, the guy knew what it was. But when I looked at it, I said,
mm,
"What the heck is this?" But he pointed out that it was the forgery.
yes.
So a lot of
I actually recently came across a 1900 pawn that was absolutely beautiful. Um, and I sent it into NGC and it came back Unk details. How possible it's Unk
oh,
details, I have no idea. For some reason, they said altered surface. So they said it's not a Fanicak forgery, but in my opinion, this was an absolute beauty.
yo,
I think it's a coin I have to send back to NGC a few times over. You probably will know the story, and I'm sure we'll touch on it a bit. But in the early days of Birobai, it was the only way I could grow the collection. I used to grade a lot of coins in the US with NGC, sending them over. It was still a mission doing your DA65, with having photos taken, going to a customs office, because I have to export and re-import those things. I don't know how it is these days because I use service providers for it. But you could still buy quite a lot of high quality coins on Birobai and have them graded and sell at a profit, or swap out to build your own collection. And these days I've been having a lot of success, by, if I really believe the coin is going to potentially get a higher grade and it's worth it, I've been breaking out a lot of coins and resending them back to NGC. And sometimes I send the coin 2, 3, 4 times back to NGC until I kind of hit the grade I want. And there's been some crazy stories of grades I've achieved doing that. I don't know how common it is and how many other collectors will do it. Um, some people have told me I'm crazy to take a top up ZR coin and break it out of a holder. But if you really believe, it's undergraded, then at least I'm going to get the same grade back. That's happened on a few of the coins where I've got unique standalone top ups by breaking out a top up and resending it. Um, Also, saying that one has to be very careful trusting the pop reports. If the amount of little NGC sleeves I've got there one day I need to send in quite a big bag back to NGC to go and just fix the registry from what I've done on the ZR coins alone. There's quite a lot of coins on that census that needs to be removed.
Yeah. Again, I'm not sure the graders and the quality of graders, but obviously they are very high standard. But you can send a coin in and you're probably going to get 2 or 3 different grades after 5 or 10 submissions. Coming back to the
Yes.
ZAR, I had a 1895 pont, which was uncirculated. And I sent it in for grading. It came back unk details, scratch. Now, the scratch was so minute and so faint that that coin deserved a numeric grade.
Yes.
Sent it in the second time, same thing. I still wasn't satisfied. I broke it out of the seal and sent it the third time, and it came back as a MS62.
Yes.
MS62 is one short of being top pop, and that coin is hell of a scarce. So yeah, you're right. Grading is it's subjective, but also I do
Mhm.
believe that certain coins, when they reject it, actually, in hindsight, should deserve a numeric grade.
It happens quite often, and vice versa. I've seen coins over the years in holders that shouldn't deserve a numeric grade, in my opinion. But there's a lot of tools in our collector's advantage these days. Just use a program like ChatGPT, take a really high quality picture of it, and ask AI to grade the coin for you. And I've been playing around with that quite a lot before I'm sending my coins away to NGC, and they quite accurate within a few, at least 2 or 3 grades accurate. Doing it via artificial intelligence, um, especially if you've got a good quality picture. So the better the picture quality you can take, the more accurate AI can jump in there and tell you what's going on. Also very interesting to play around with, just a normal picture and 5 times magnification on that. With that said, obviously, I can also expect that there's going to be changes with the grading companies. Sorry, I
You know,
didn't hear you there.
good.
No,
No, sorry. I
I
was
said there might be some issues we can expect with the grading companies in the future where, NGC at this stage, I've noticed they start taking pictures prior to grading. And I don't know why the reason is why they take the picture prior to grading, but it could be that they already are testing artificial intelligence. So they've got some AI tools that they've been working on, um, especially on the more modern coins, which they can obviously grade in bulk using AI. And that can also have an impact on, us as collectors breaking coins out and sending it back. If I've got a coin that NGC has graded and I'm breaking that coin out 10 times and I'm sending it back 10 times, I'll probably have 3 grade difference on that coin, which won't play good into the image of some of the grading companies. So they can also start using AI tools in identifying resubmission of coins. And that's very, very easy to do for any program today to tell NGC basically, yes, this coin was sent for grading 1 year ago on this day, and this was the grade that was NGC gave to that coin. So I don't expect the practice of breaking up coins and sending them back to NGC is going to last for a very long time. They're going to catch up on that practice as well.
I agree with you on that. And I think the future of grading, especially for the grading company, is going to be AI, for without a shadow of doubt. I think it's
For
it's
sure.
it's being tested at the moment. I'm not sure whether it's being used 100%, but it's being tested. And the AI grades are coming out almost 90% to a manual grade. So
Yes, and it's a good question to ask, who's better at the end of the day? AI will tell you, It's not 100% there yet, so rather have it graded by a grader, but a grader is giving it a subjective grade. And I always say is good grades, they should be, if you say it's a 60 and you're a real, you should be able to any other good grader, and that grader should be within one grade away from you, either 62 or 64, if you say it's a 63. But that gives you that subjectiveness in grading within, that 2 or 3 grades. But from AI being much more accurate in grading, making less mistakes, and making sure that the quality of grading is on standard, that you don't see the human errors or the human subjectiveness varying so much in the future.
Yeah, and I think the other thing, the photographic stuff that the grading companies do is for identification of, like you said, a resubmission. So they look for certain characteristics on a coin, and if a person's coin did not grade and they break it out of the seal and send it back, then they run it through a database, and it can easily pick up if that coin was submitted previously.
Yes, 100%. And it could also be, most probably a company like NGC is already training their own AI models. So, feeding it with this enormous database of coins coming in for grading on a daily basis, it's just making it more and more powerful. Where ChatGPT is just kind of this general wide AI, they might be having specific AI model being developed in-house just for them as a company. And there's a lot of positives, even for spotting fakes. It's almost impossible with AI to fake a coin. And once you start going into 20x magnification, uh, it's almost zero chance. If you've got an XRF machine, you've got a 20x magnification AI, it's literally impossible to fake a coin.
So you think if AI is working to an extent where people are comfortable, it's actually going to save a collector a lot of money in terms of having their coins pre-scanned and then sending them for grading.
Well, yes, but collectors can already do that themselves. It's good fun. Just go and try it. Download ChatGPT and take some images of pictures and just go and have fun, play around and see what AI can do for collectors already.
True. So a lot of people diversify, I'm sure you have as well. We go into stocks, we go into bonds, we go into crypto, hobbies, etc. Coin collecting as a whole, and especially ZAR, for the people out there, is it an investment or just a hobby?
Mm, That's a that's a really good question. So, from an investment point of view, it's going to come down to supply and demand, right? Now, supply is fixed and is getting less and less and less because coins are getting damaged, lost, melted down for many reasons. So, if there's a uptake on the demand curve, then it will be a good investment. But to try and get new collectors into the hobby is going to take quite a lot of effort. South Africa has gone through, I would say, two big things that's really harmed the South African collectors market. Obviously, the one being the R5 Mandela craze. Um, the intentions of the SA Mint might have been good, but in a way, they really hurt the collectors out there, or the investors, or the numismatists. And then it's still continuing now with the R5 scams. You can't go into any group where someone's advertising to pay millions for coins, and it catches people. And we have a combination of, quite a big base in South Africa that still lacks education and being caught up in these scams, and then the regulatory authority doing nothing about it, where you won't see that as much in the US or Europe. But with that said, this phase two shall pass. People will learn how to interact and shop online in a safe environment. And coins and notes is going to become less and less and less. It really is going to become collector's pieces. And I think might not happen in my lifetime, but I'm sure I'm going to see it fairly quicker than I think, where there won't be coins and notes in society anymore. It will just be something from the past. And I think once we get there, uh, the hobby of collecting of coins is going to see a bigger uptake or surge. And by then, we can create a lot of artificial scarcity through making new coins and just make 100 of them. But you can't go back and change the ZR series or some of the Union coins and the history and the story and the pedigrees behind these pieces. So I think the hobby is in a good position. And I think coins will be a great investment as long as you stick to the rule of if you're buying a coin and it's for an investment, buy the best possible coin you can get. Don't play around. Don't go for lower quality. I'll rather have one single investment coin in my safe than 100 mediocre grades. The return's going to be on that one big coin.
I'm glad you touched on it because one of my questions was, what advice would you have for wannabe Zeri art collectors? And I think that's a crucial point. I've been taught that, and I've lived by that. That in your
Mm.
primary collection, go for the best. Just that one coin
Yes.
makes a big difference than 10 low-grade coins.
100%. So that's the one definitely advice. I would also say is break the series down into smaller series. So the ZR, a great example would be go for the pennies. That's very easy. You've got the blank penny, the 92, 93, 94, 98, and there you go. If you want to get more advanced, you can go for the red, brown, brown, and red variety in, say, 92 and 98, and for the brown and red, the brown in 93 and 94, or just, focus on the shillings or just the tikkie. So by taking a series and breaking it even further down, it gives you a little bit more excitement. And then the third, probably the biggest tip I can give is never chase a coin. This is probably some of the biggest school fees I've paid in life. But just sit back, relax, use common sense, and the coin will eventually come to you. It's when you're chasing to get a certain coin is where you're going to be overpaying or not making rational decisions in purchasing that item. There's so much great quality stock that comes onto the market, and it has to come on the market. Collectors needs to raise uh, capital to buy other coins, or they get tired of series, or they want to swap out, or they better a coin. So there's always something on the market to buy. Um, just you need to be patient. So I think those are the three biggest tips I can give to any collector out there.
Yeah, I think that's valuable advice for any wannabe collector starting up or collecting Zeri art coins, or in
Mm,
numismatics, or any coins that you collect. I think that's valuable
yeah.
information. So, what is your favorite coin in your collection at the moment? And I'm waiting for the day you're gonna hand out that brockage coin to me.
So I must say, so all the ones that's one of ones, they favorites of mine. So the brockage obviously is very, very special. So there's supposed to be two of them. I haven't seen the other one yet. The 96 Tiki in gold is unique. That's very special. But then there's some big coins in the collection that's also very special. The top up Veldbond, comes from Jan Krai's collection. We've held the single nine, knowing that Veldbond sat next to the single nine for a long time. Um, Also, the Sammy Mox Tiki I've got because it comes from the Mox Maisels family. That was their Tiki. It's the second best Tiki out there, but just the pedigree behind it is very special. Now, recently, I got the blank ponder, rim and rimless ponder from the Sergeant collection. Just reading up more and understanding the Sergeant collection, and it's fascinating. That was probably one of the best buys I ever did on Basanis. I think, I don't know if people missed it, but to have the Sergeant cabinet all the documentation, the original documentation of the striking of the Burgerspont, for instance, the communication up and down from Sergeant, and then to have both of the blank Ponder in there, which is probably worth at least 20,000 a piece. It was a bargain buy. I think I paid 70,000 Rand for everything. So very proud of that purchase. I think everyone missed that one. And then I would say, the entire 1892 proof set. It's everything's top ups from the penny all the way up except the point. It's the second best point. It's just special. It's beautiful. It's if you want to see the most beautiful coins, it's the 1892 proof set. Nothing beats that for me, personally. So there's many of them that's special. Many. The most beautiful coin in the collection for me is the 1897 2.5 shilling. It's a standalone MS66, but it is the most beautiful example of a ZR coin. As if I'm standing next to Umpol and that coin has just been struck on the machine and handed to me. That is how pure that coin is. So yeah, they're all special to me.
The coin rings a bell.
Yeah.
So
Yeah.
that's nice to know. But personally, I think your Brockage coin, that is
Mhm.
a perfectly struck coin through and through. I mean, I
Yes.
don't know if anyone's actually seen that coin, but what date do you think that coin could have been? Nobody knows, eh?
Well, that's interesting. It's a good question, but I don't think it's a 92. Um, just from Kruger's hair, I would probably guess it's most probably a 98. Most probably. That's just my guess. How it got out at the end of the day, I don't know. But it got a numeric grade from PCGS. I think it's a MS61. Mm. No, it's special.
That's a special coin. That is really special. You don't. I'm not sure if you're into misstruck coins, but the ZAR series, you find very, very few misstruck coins out there. Very few.
Mm. Mainly on the pennies. And for some reason, almost all my misstruck pennies are pretty much always 94.
Yeah.
I don't know if why 1894 pennies for some reason, but most of them's 1894.
So we all know your love for this hobby and your involvement currently. There's just a couple of more questions that I've got. But where did this love for crypto come in?
So I think it's some coins and then tech. I fell in love with tech. Um, my claim to fame back in SA is having an online payment gateway. So pretty much everyone watching this has used that platform in SA without even knowing it. Um, so understanding how the digital side of payments work and having a fair bit of a understanding of the concept of gold or hard money, going to money-backed currency and then ending up in fiat currency and our empires collapse. It was just a match made in heaven. So when I got first introduced to crypto early on, what interested me in it was mainly the technology side of it. This is it's a very special, call it solution that's been solved, or something that's been solved in the world of cryptography. And there's no ways of stopping this. It's People say, yeah, governments can shut it down, but it's like Ramaphosa tonight announcing it's illegal for the sun to rise in South Africa. You can declare it illegal, but you will never be able to stop the technology. So then you combine. Uh,
Sorry, I just lost
I
you there
lost
for
you
a
there
bit.
for
Continue.
Yeah, sorry, I lost you there for a second. So Yeah, just the combination of the technology and just coming from the world of payments. There's a big difference between the payment method, the currency, and the settlement of that payment. Things that happen in the background, which we as payment experts understand. But you look at something like Bitcoin, it's the unit of the count, the payment layer, the settlement layer, the confirmation, everything in one. So it's an amazing technology, and it's these two combinations which I was lucky enough to say, this is going to be big one day, in my opinion, and I'm going to risk it all and put everything I have into this technology. And it's over the years has been life changing, and it's paid off, and obviously allowed me to grow my numismatic collection because of that.
So you're a holder and a buyer.
I used to buy. It's too expensive to buy now. Now I need to live off it.
Okay, cool.
So mm.
Now let's just move to a different subject. Um, you've been involved quite extensively with preserving numismatics, especially talks, documents, etc. I know you put a lot of effort into it as well. And I, for one, salute you for that, because you're not only interested in the rewards of the hobby, your interest also expands to something that I have a passion for, which is the preservation, the protection, and making sure that information is freely available. Um, Tell us more about this passion. I know there's I'm not sure if you've put that out, but there's a reward for any new literature, etc., on the WCNS website as well. You just want to expand on that a bit?
Mm. So yeah, so I think it started off in many years ago. So I'm sure you'll still touch on SANGs in that way. But I've got a big passion for the Western Cape Numismatic Society, the work that Pierre Waldo is doing, Derek is doing. Derek is absolutely it's amazing with the documentation. We were very lucky to receive from the Jaffe family a lot of documentation, literature, books, all of that. We ended up with the help of mainly Pierre scanning this in and trying to preserve this, and Derek making it searchable for everyone. I, being in Mauritius, can't physically contribute, but I can contribute financially at least to that task. Um, and just telling the story and saving this information and making it possible for anyone to go and do their research. It's not nearly close where you kind of want it to be, but I can imagine one day you just type in a coin or scan a coin and you can read anything and everything there is about that. And in the end of the day, in this hobby, the coins are going to outlive me, and this is not just a coin, but it's part of South Africa's history, and it's in my possession, and it's almost like as a collector, you take on the responsibility to hold and preserve this for the future generations, to keep the story alive, to keep the documentation around each coin. And there's going to become a day where every single coin in my collection is going to move over to the next person. So I think everyone, every true numismatist out there, or every true collector out there, you have a responsibility to preserve this all for the next generation. That's also why I'm such a big fan of grading coins, for the simple reason of just the simple reason of protecting a coin. I'll just tell you a quick story, but taking a coin out of a safe one day, it's one of the most beautiful 94 pounder, uncirculated, and it dropped out of my hand from around a meter, 1.2 meters high, hit the concrete floor, and it had a little rim nick in it. That coin's damaged forever and ever and ever. It's not only the financial loss, but it's the loss to the hobby. If that was in a holder, at least the holder can crack, the holder can get damaged, scratched, but the coin's been preserved. So I've got a big passion for putting numismatic items into a holder just for that reason and nothing else.
I somehow feel guilty. Because weren't you talking to me on that night when you dropped that coin?
I can't remember. I can't remember.
You were
But
taking
yeah, I still have the coin. It's very, very sad. Um, it uh, if I want to trace the coin back correctly, I believe I bought it through Brian Hearn, and it came from Peter Wilson's collection, if I'm correct. Um, but
possibly,
yeah, that's the coin.
possibly. Let's get back
Mm.
to what you mentioned. Not many people know this, but
Yes.
you actually founded
Hmm.
Sangs. You started Sangs, am I right?
You're right. Many people do know that. I'm sure. Um, so the name Sangs, the original idea, um, it was myself and I met a uncle out in Cape Town, Mr. Hafenga and Niels Hafenga, and he mainly collected gold, had a lot of Natura sets, and he kind of walked the journey with me. So I went to go see people to make the molds, get a sonic sealing machine, put everything together, and ended up slabbing the first coin, the first Sangs coin. Um, there was a need for having something local for lower quality coins because everything was going to the US, and it was at that stage where the 5 rands was just going crazy. It was mainly 94 and 2000. So in the beginning, obviously, the 2008 Mandela coin was not yet released. So it was about a year and a half, 2 years prior to that. And then kind of quickly realized I wasn't the first. There was already someone in Brackenfell that was doing his own kind of solution. But I then quickly realized you kind of need to get some bigger experts into the hobby, and that's where Glenn Skuman and Michael Kaplan came along. It made more sense to move the operations to Glenn up in Johannesburg. So everything was moved up to Johannesburg, and then it was about 2 years after that that I kind of sold my share in Sangs to Glenn and Michael Kaplan. And then I got back in it again. Glenn phoned me up one day and said, they're kind of getting to the end of this journey. It's not really profitable. Sangs has never been profitable, really. For some reason, there's a lot of people on the outside that think it's a very profitable hobby or profitable business, but it really isn't that profitable. I do believe if it's done correctly, it can at least break even and make a small profit, but it will never really be a big business. But it serves a purpose in the numismatic community, and especially on lower quality coins, which is just too expensive to send to the US. So with that said, I made a financial commitment and said, I'm over the years of running a business like that. I'm not going to get involved. I'm anyways in Mauritius. There's nothing much I can do, but I'll keep the lights on for 2 years, and I'll put strict rules in place, which I believe needs to happen for the turnaround of Sangs, and at least just to break even and pay its salaries. And this is where we are today. Got a new person that took over there. Dario is his name. There's another lady in the office that's full-time there. And then we have another 3 graders that assist with grading of coins that come into the Sangs offices to come and assist. And I hope it can continue just to serve the numismatic community in SA. And the funding for them, like I said, is only 2 years. But so far it looks positive that, that funding they'll be able to extend it to the third and the fourth year, at least at the rate they're going on now, and that they can keep the lights on and make it a sustainable business into the future and serve everyone um, in South Africa.
But that's wonderful to know that actually you're giving back to the community as well by keeping the lights on. Let's put it that way. And
Yeah.
within this 2 year period that you've given it to turn around, is there any new developments within Sangs?
Yeah, there is. So there is. I wish I could just jump in there and kind of do everything myself and pulls through with a vision I have, but the time is limited, and finding that balance between work and family and hobby is not always that easy. Um, so things are moving along slower than I would hope for, but I've kind of have a vision how I see the entire ecosystem work together, and I see small changes happening in the industry. And there's a lot of people at this stage, which I'm really grateful for, which I believe is very healthy for the market. I love the new auction houses popping up. There's currently 3 in South Africa: E1, Galleries, Basanis, and then Randcoin with their own platform. I have a preference. Everyone knows that, Basanis. It's just the biggest, and that's where I've bought most of my coins, because it creates public prices for coins. And I'm at a point now where someone's offering me a coin at a ridiculous price. And I'm like, just put it on auction. I'm interested. I'll buy it, but I'll buy it through auction. Let both of us see what the market price is for this coin. And hopefully that will end the suitcase type dealing that's been in the industry, where you can't really measure prices always. And I think a lot of people is overpaid if you're a good salesman, convincing someone. And then it's good to see new people coming. Landon, with his TikTok channel, has done a tremendous job. The other day alone, as an example, he told me that, or us on our talk, there's 7,000 people watching the Gatsby auction. That's unreal. Look
And
at
it
even
was
the biggest
interactive,
society.
right? And it was interactive. People were talking
Yes,
to
it's
him.
interactive.
Yeah, it's great.
And the best of all is it's there on the internet for everyone to see. You can actually go see the interactions, how many views it's received right now. You
Yeah.
go to some society meetups and you've got 15 old people in the room. So things are changing, and I would say a lot of people won't agree with it, but this is a different era we live in, and we need to kind of change our ways and how we do things to attract new collectors in there into this hobby. Because it doesn't matter if you're the smallest collector today. You might be an Elon Musk buying the single nine tomorrow, and I hope, and I have plans to do many more things. I don't want to share it right now, yeah, because scared I can't get it all done. But um, something I've been working on quite a lot is building out a registry for South Africa. It kind of serves a twofold. I think the registry is highly powerful in getting people engaged in numismatics. For those that don't know, but you get allocated points and you can compete within sets against other collectors. It's very addictive, extremely addictive. To have something that for South African coins won't only boost something like Sangs, but it will make collecting much more fun for South Africans, and place value on coins where before there hasn't really been value on them, and just make the hobby so much more fun. And then the second thing I hope to solve through that is trying to build some kind of a census and reverse engineer back ways, trying to get images and some census up of Sangs coins, which unfortunately has been lost because the record keeping wasn't that great over the years. There is some basic census report, but it's not accurate at all. And there's nothing we can do today to solve that problem, except if we can get a lot of those coins somehow competing on some kind of a registry again, and we can build that data up. So
Yeah.
that's the project I'm looking for to most. Yeah, that's it.
Thomas, it was great catching up with you and doing this chat show with you. I know we've had
Anthony.
it on the table for a very, very long time, and I'm sure it won't be the last one.
Yes.
In closing off, is there
Hopefully
anything that
not.
you round off with?
No, not really. Just looking forward to the next Gatsby sale. Looking forward to the next Bassani's signature sale. There's 1 or 2 coins I'm really, really interested in on there in March. And then one of the highlights this year for me is the 6th of April, coming to the Johannesburg Coin Show. So my tickets are booked. I'm going to be there. Obviously, convincing the wife to leave the island and family behind. And I need to find the balance between a crypto conference or two and the coin show. And in between is my 40th birthday. So, I've got my birthday, 40th birthday coming up. I've got the biggest Bitcoin conference this year is in Vegas. So now I'm going to Vegas. I'm going, it's the 40th birthday, and then convincing the wife to still travel to Johannesburg for coin show. Very, very lucky, but this is the immediate highlights. And I hope to see everyone at the Johannesburg coin show, especially for those who's never attended a coin show. I'm flying from Mauritius, so if you're anywhere in SA, it's a quick hop over. But it's the highlights of the year for me is attending the coin shows.
Well, I'll see you there, and hopefully we can catch up and have a
Awesome.
meal together.
Definitely.
Okay.
I look forward
Thanks a
to
lot.
that. I did hear this year that the Gauteng Numismatic Society is going to have a great get together the evening before the coin show. So the Saturday evening, I heard some rumors of a spit braai. So much more reason just to come. And even if you can, just join the Gauteng Numismatic Society and come join the night before, and then come have an amazing coin show with me.
Excellent. Right, ladies and gentlemen, that's
Awesome.
Thomas from Spay. And thank you once again, Thomas. And we'll catch up soon
Thanks,
again.
Anthony. All right,
Cheers.
take care. See you
Cheers.
soon. Bye bye, Anthony.